Welcome back. This is the Love Below on 91.9 The Buzz, and this is your girl, Sunshine B. Who else do I have in the building with me?
Shell Shocker. Oh, we're not in order. Okay. Lady Moxie. Deborah J. Shell Shocker. Make Tails me Chris. I'm sorry so long.
It's hilarious.
People are going to remember.
I bet you they will. That you have to. That name you have to remember. If you're just tuning in, shame on you. You
Yes.
just missed an awesome
Yes.
first segment. If you
Yep.
want to see it, check it out on Ustream. It'll be on the Love Below YouTube page probably in a week. But that is my phone. Yes, it is. I just whistled at you. I can't whistle, but my phone can. All right, so we just got done discussing the Statesboro Trayvon March and rally that these lovely ladies participated in and helped put together. And now we're going to talk about a few cases that were like media hyped and everybody knew what was going on. Everybody was tuning in. Probably should have been doing some homework, but we were all watching it. And the first one is Casey Anthony. Now, if you didn't know, but Casey Anthony also happened in Florida too. So I'm wondering about Florida. Is there a great vacation spot? But I don't think I'll ever live there.
Side out of Florida. I lived in Orlando for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
You made it out. You made it out. Goodbye.
That's about it.
So, I thought it was fun when I read the case and was like, oh, Casey Anthony was in Florida. Okay, Florida. All right, we love you. We love you too. But if you don't know what the Casey Anthony case was, Casey Anthony case, her name is just too funny. Basically, that she was on a murder trial for her daughter. She was acquitted of all charges. Well, she had 4 minor charges of false information to police.
Because she reported her child missing.
Yeah, but kidnapped. And I also read that she reported that another person kidnapped her child and ruined that person's reputation.
Oh yeah. Turned out to
Yeah.
be a Hispanic maid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that did not even know who she was. Yep. Had never heard of it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
So she claimed that was her babysitter.
And I think that woman ended up suing too,
Yeah,
because
she did.
For defamation of character. She should
Yeah.
have, I would have.
But I thought it was funny because when you're tried by jurors, like the judge really can't do anything.
Right.
But the judge on Casey Anthony's case came out, of course, it's been 2 years since the case actually happened, time flew by. But he was like, he was surprised. He was like, he doesn't see how they could say not guilty. He was like, the evidence was like right in front of their faces. Like there was no way she should have walked out of that out of that courtroom. But he was like, she was very manipulative. She was one type of way when the trial was going on, and a lovely mother who just lost her child.
Right,
But as soon as everybody walked out the door, she was cussing out her lawyer, having fits and all types of stuff. He basically said she had a split personality, which was basically how she got over everybody. But I wanted to know if you saw the case or heard the case, how did you feel about that case? And basically the article that I found was like, it cast shadows onto the Zimmerman trial because everybody saw all the evidence for Zimmerman, but he still was acquitted. So how do y'all feel about that?
I think it's one of, at the time when the case was going on is when I was in Orlando. So it was very crazy. I mean, at the time, before I moved to Orlando, I hadn't heard of it. But being in Orlando, it was everywhere, all the time, everywhere. And for me, I was completely shocked just with the Zimmerman trial that, I think it's just one of the things that the jury, I guess we try to make it the most fair way to assess, like, who's guilty and who's not, but jury selection can be so biased. And I think it plays so much into everything because you have these group of 6 to 12 people that are responsible for determining the outcome for this trial, but they have their own biases. They try to pick people that aren't biased, but inherently, just the way life is, you're going to feel some type of way about some matter. Either you're a mother and you can't understand how another mother can do that, or you're not a mother and you don't know what the feeling is, something. You're going to have some kind of bias. So, I mean, I was just completely floored with the whole situation, especially seeing that. I think what I was shocked by is that the days immediately following, that the days that her daughter was missing, like she was out partying. And I'm thinking, if any mother, I don't have a child, I have a niece, I've had a dog. If I lost either one of them, I'm out the next day turning up, like, that's just not where my mind's gonna be.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I watched the trial, Casey Anthony's trial, like 3 years ago. I try to stay abreast on what's going on. And it was completely, like, the entire, I was at work, I worked at the rack at the time, we were all standing in front of the TV, and they were like, okay, we have a verdict, and everything was not guilty, and we all, like, you could just see, like, the balloons burst in the room, like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But I think the bigger issue outside of just these cases is that the judicial system is set up to have an attorney, the prosecution, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And that reasonable doubt word, like, I don't even really understand what they're saying. Like, what you mean reasonable doubt? Like, I know for me,
You don't have to doubt it, but a normal, reasonable, sane person has to have doubt.
Who did that? That's what I'm saying. Who said that this was reasonable doubt and this is not? I don't really understand how they get to the verdict at the end of the day. And it's hard to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, like in Zimmerman's case. Trayvon wasn't there to speak. Nobody else was there but George and Trayvon. So who? Those jurors are like, I mean, I really don't know. I'm gonna go out what these people say. This sounds really good. It sounds like an accurate story with all their biases and everything that they have. So just being able to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt is very, very, very difficult.
Especially in a murder case when that other person's not
It's
there
not
to
there.
defend themselves.
It's just, I feel like there has to be some reworking of these laws and how we implement them and how we deliver jury instructions so they won't feel compelled if it says a reasonable doubt and they have a slight doubt, they cannot rule him guilty. That is just what the law says. They can think in the back of their mind like, yeah, he did it, I don't care. But if they have some slight doubt that he may not have, it's a lost cause for both sides at the end of the day. So I find it to be very, 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 like, astonishing that these things are still happening and we are still using a system that was developed years ago that does not pertain to people who are considered humans, who are considered family members, loved ones, marriage, all that stuff, who are considered people under the law at this point.
How do y'all feel?
Well, just to respond to some of your comments, like, even if you can get that guilty verdict, the chances of getting the justice needed are even slimmer. For example, in the state of Georgia, life is 15 years. You can be up for parole in 15 years. So unless they get life without parole, for example, I know because my father was murdered when I was 15. And the two brothers, one got life without a chance of parole, the other will be out in 2 years. So even though we got a guilty verdict, but I still don't feel that justice was served for him.
FDOT is on Ustream, and he basically said that in a way he feels like the George Zimmerman verdict was the 2013 version of the O.J. trial in the 90s.
Oh my God, I was thinking the same
thing. And that's actually, we'll go back to Troy Davis. Let's go to O.J. Simpson.
Well, isn't she she was trying to write a book or do something? Cause she was trying to write a book, right?
Who's that?
Yeah, and make YouTube videos.
I don't.
Make money
When
on
I-
YouTube videos.
When I listen and watch some of the trial, like, I literally, there's some things that I cannot watch all the way through without throwing my TV. So I read a lot of stuff because, you know, I can just close my computer and not harm anything, but my TV might got something thrown at it. So with those, like the Trayvon versus Zimmerman, I read a lot of stuff. I was like, into everybody's details. I want to hear everything. I want to see everything. I listened to the 911 call and I was like, whoa.
It gives me chills.
I cried when I first heard that.
When they released his body, I was like, because, you know, all the pictures they have on is him a little bit younger, so I really want to see what he looked like. And, you know, of course he's tall. He's extremely tall. And I was like, okay. I still don't get it. Still don't get it. Still don't get it. Watch the little, everybody showing their evidence. I'm like, okay, I should go be a lawyer because y'all suck. Y'all suck.
It's like, why don't you say this? Say this. And that's what we were like screaming. I watched it like every day with different people, and I'm like, just say this. Look, ask him this question, okay? Because this is what we're all asking at home. But it's common sense to us. But in the judicial system, it's not common sense, and you can't necessarily throw. When they were arguing common sense at the closing arguments, I almost flipped out of my chair because I knew that wasn't going to cut it. Because your common sense and my common sense are completely different. But I think with OJ, I think he was guilty, and I think he should have went to jail at the
Well,
end of the
he's
day.
in jail now. Well, no,
Yeah,
he's
he
dead.
did something.
No, he's
His own
Well, he
stuff.
died.
Yeah, since O.J. Simpson stole his own
He
memorabilia.
stole his
And
own.
somebody broke in his house, stole his stuff, and then he went back and stole it back or something.
He says it was stolen, but I don't know
Right,
if it was
murder,
stolen
and
when he
then
got
go
low.
steal your stuff.
Then wrote a book called
If I would have
If
If
done
I
I
would've
did it.
done, yeah.
I believe he was guilty, and I feel like they should have did something to say, hey, this man is guilty, he needs to go to jail. Like, I don't think it's black or white at that point. It's simply the judicial system. Now, anything that leads up to that, that could be racial, whatever you wanna call it. But at that point, when you're in the courtroom, I thought he was completely guilty, and I was flabbergasted at him.
And we were young to
Yeah,
know
yeah,
he
I
was
was
guilty.
You were guilty. I was
7.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is not right.
Yeah,
I was,
at that,
What year was it?
at that
It
age,
was like 96, I was
Yeah.
like in
Oh,
fifth,
four.
fifth grade or something.
I was 11.
all right, let's, you know, show our ages.
But at that age, to know, to be able to,
Right.
you know, have the cognitive ability to see that without having someone to have to tell me, you know,
It's insane.
Did anybody see, I had posted it, shared it, it was a video of a guy, he was livid. It was, he, used his daughter as.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
He was pretending to be, Zimmerman, and he used his daughter as Trayvon switch that. He was Trayvon, and how he did
Yeah.
the story that Trayvon had him against the ground, slamming him against the ground. For me, somebody slamming me against the ground, I'm not yelling help.
You not.
I'm
Or
gonna
his
help
mouth
myself, I'm
was
trying to
closed,
help
his mouth
myself.
was closed and his nose was closed. We acted it out in my home several times. It's just, how did he get his gun if Trayvon was on top of him and your gun is in your waistband? Did you reach under Trayvon's leg as you were hollering and screaming and all
You were
those
really
things that
multitasking.
you're talking about?
In the dark,
Yeah, Nancy. I mean, just listening off the 911 calls, I did watch the video, and the guy basically said, you know, if you're getting beat up when you're yelling, you
Yeah, you have to breathe.
but this was like a help, like it was like
Yeah,
you could
really.
tell like something was about to happen. It couldn't have been during a fight, and just the way you know they showed how you know he was shot and how he fell. I'm like, okay, the bullet wound was so close, so he literally went up to you and shot you. So, okay.
And they found him face down. And if
He was
face
been rolled
down,
over.
he would have been
On
on top of him, right?
right,
And if you on top, big boy on top
You
of
got
you.
blood on you.
Yep.
yeah.
There's no blood on the
But
gun,
they
no blood on the
found-
shirt, nothing.
It's not Trayvon laying on his arms. You don't fall with your arms.
Yeah, you don't fall like
Right.
Crossed against your chest. Like,
He
would have had rolled
fallen
over
out
or
on the trial. I would have like, come up here and
I
fall
mean,
out.
they tried, they brought in that dummy and was like doing it, but it was like, I mean, that was the defense doing that, so it's sort of like, I was just, it was
But if
just like,
somebody's banging your head 12 times against the concrete,
You're gonna be knocked out.
You're not gonna get up and walk away from that. If he a thug or whatever y'all call him, and I'll brush
if
his
you just
nose,
beat his back,
you know,
and everybody
that, you would have not made it home or walked away.
For me, regardless of Trayvon was black, white, Hispanic, Zimmerman brought that gun so he could be a hero. Because so many times he called the cops, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a hero, so he got his gun, he found the person who looked suspect, and he shot him.
Yeah.
And
you
he's
could-
wrong.
You said he was already frustrated because he mentioned that, you know, he's never watched, he's called the police so many times and there were so many break-ins and nobody showed
They
up.
all ran
So
away.
you took it upon yourself, and then I'm like, okay, so even if I was neighborhood watch and I saw you coming toward me, I'm not gonna shoot you in the heart. I'm gonna shoot you in the leg, I'm gonna shoot you in the
Right,
leg,
I might shoot a warning shot.
the top of the shoulder,
But you might go to jail for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that lady,
Florida.
yeah.
But another thing, when you get a license to carry a concealed weapon, they teach you how to shoot it. They teach you how
No, they
to
don't.
shoot. They don't
No,
necessarily.
I have a license to
I was
carry
about to say,
concealed, and all they did was take my fingerprints and do a background check.
Where'd you get your license? I
Bullitt
know.
County.
Oh, okay.
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
But in some places they do.
Yeah, they do
you have to
offer
go
a
through
training with
and they
it,
teach you
yeah.
how to use it and how to shoot, not to kill, but to shoot to protect
That's
yourself.
so dangerous and bullet, goodness gracious.
I was gonna say, to your point though, that you would shoot an arm or leg, okay, I used to work for a man who was a gun enthusiast. He built his own guns, he did his own bullets, and he gave me a gun to keep me safe. But I don't wanna kill anybody, so I always said, you know, can I shoot at his feet? And he said, no, if you pull that gun, you shoot to kill. Because if not, you're gonna piss him off. You know, and I'm not defending George Zimmerman, but I'm saying
Right.
against that point, no, you shoot to kill if you pull that gun. This is why I haven't touched my gun either, but you know.
Right.
And see, that's the sin. Like, you carrying a gun to watch.
What you
How
want?
you watch with a gun?
You hunting?
He was.
You was
He
hunting.
was hunting for trouble. Yeah.
I think that's the best thing that I've heard.
That's because I did a poll within my staff. Of course, my staff is full of minorities, and so I said, if I was walking behind you as a guy, what would you do? All of them said, I'm gonna turn around and square up on you. No
Or ask
matter,
you a problem. What's
you know, what's the
problem?
problem, stuff like that. None of that is on tape. So if you turn around and like you're neighborhood watch, shouldn't you know all the people that live in the neighborhood?
Right, or at least it's me, or at
You
least
know
the name of
the
the
street,
street.
you know the street
No, he
name.
is the street. I mean, at the gas station.
Did he live on that street?
It's only 3 streets and one makes a circle, okay?
Yeah, but the thing is that he never identified himself as a neighborhood watch. Hey, who are you? You ask no question.
Right.
You just,
Or, hey, young man, I'm trying to protect you, maybe you should get in the house.
you know, it's kind of dark out here. You
Right.
have a black
In a
hoodie.
series of robberies.
You know, you might want to get in the house.
Excuse me, can you take your hoodie down? Are you part of the neighborhood?
Where do you live?
Anything.
It's really frustrating to know that at the end of the day, none of those things happened. The proper steps that he should have taken to ensure both of their safety at the end of the day, he didn't take that precaution. So, right, and I think it's from a cultural standpoint as well. If somebody approaches you or somebody's following you, I know where I'm from, nobody's about to follow me without me saying this guy was suspicious or I'm find a knife, a stick, or something to protect myself, because you don't know. And that's what I think with this trial, they try to project it as is, you know, he was an innocent man walking and trying to figure out what was going, but where he's from, that doesn't happen.
In the car.
If somebody's following,
Yes.
right, if somebody's following you, it's automatically suspicious. You automatically, it doesn't matter what color you are, brown, yellow, green, none of that matters at the end of the day. If somebody's following you, you gotta think to protect yourself automatically. And so, what I say is, why couldn't Trayvon stand his ground? He probably stood his ground in that moment that was going on. He felt threatened. He didn't know what was going on. I might take a punch at you too if you follow me. You turn around and ask me what I'm doing here. I'm trying to walk home. I just went to the store and that's it. But I think nobody brought that up, is that why couldn't Trayvon stand his ground if we want to quote unquote use it or not use it as a defense or as an argument for both sides.
I'm sorry. Well, I feel, because they use this a lot, that they use his height, and it's scary for a tall person to walk at night with a hoodie. It's not.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
I can't walk at night because I'm 5'10", 6'1", with my heels on.
I was gonna say, so, because I'm short, I can do
walk
it.
in
You're
there.
free to
Let me
walk
go
where
get me.
walk where you wanna walk.
I'm 5'5".
Are they trying to say that I can't do something?
I mean, because it's scary to him that he was shorter than Trayvon.
But
Yeah.
he wasn't that
car,
short.
you really
He
never
wasn't.
know
He
how
wasn't.
short you were.
No, and
You would've stayed
the
with
good class told you to stay in the car,
Yeah.
do not pursue, and what you did, broke the law.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break and we will be right back. This is the Love of Love.